Hey everybody, Kyle Sasser here, and everyone's favorite time of the month. That's right, market statistics time. So these statistics are for Hillsborough County for December 2021. Now you're probably asking yourself, Kyle, we are in January. It's a brand new year. It's 2022. Why are we looking at December 2021 statistics? And the answer is that it naturally takes the local real estate boards a little bit of time to get all that information together and compiled into a outstanding looking report like this. Just it takes a little time to compile all of those statistics. The other thing to know about these stats is that we are not comparing month over month, so we are not comparing December 2021 to November 2021. We are actually comparing December 2021 to December 2020. And the reason we do that is because real estate has a natural ebb and flow over a 12-month period. And here in Florida, it really kind of follows the school year. If you're a little further up north and there's snow on the ground, obviously, wintertime is going to have a major impact on home sales. We don't have that so much here. But because of all that stuff, that is why we look at year over year, not month to month. And those of you that have been watching these videos are basically paying attention to any sort of news media knows that there is a lot going on in the real estate market currently. Prices are sky high. They are way above peak levels from previous years, which previous high should be like 2006. We are way above that now. A lot of people wondering how long this is going to sustain or continue, and I will touch on some of that in these reports. But by and large, the overall trend of less homes for sale and higher prices is unfortunately continuing. We had a few months where it looked like things were kind of wobbling a little bit. So like September, October, November, August, September, October, we had a little bit of a wobble where we actually put more homes up for sale than sold. But we are now definitely back in full force with fewer homes for sale. So let's dive into these statistics for Hillsborough County for December 2021. If you'd like your own copy of this, there will be a contact link down below. So total number of closed sales dropped 0.2% to 1,986 compared to 2020. So the demand and the number of houses sold has held steady. Total number paid in cash is interesting because this one's actually up 75.8%. On the Pinellas stats here, paid in cash was only up 7%, whereas in Hillsborough County, number paid in cash is up 75.8%. So historically, Hillsborough County has been a little behind Pinellas County on cash purchases and just average home price and all that. But that is something that is currently rapidly changing. So median sales price and average sales price, just to kind of refresh that math course from a long time ago. It's basically average sales price is where, let's say you have 10 houses, you add up the purchase price of those 10 houses, and then you divide it by 10, that gives you the average sales price. Median sales price is a little different. That is the point where there's an equal number of homes for sale above that price as below that price. So personally, I like the median sales price a little bit better. It does remove some of the outliers if some really expensive properties sell in a particular month, or if some really low-end properties sell in a particular month. It does kind of remove that. It's a little more stable than the average sales price. So I usually pay more attention to the median sales price versus average. So the median sales price in Hillsborough County was up 24.8% to a total of $373,100. And the average sales price was up 18.5% to a total of $450,981. Total dollar volume was up 18.3% for a total of $895.6 million. And then go and skip the median time to contract and all that, because that's, it's basically as bad as it has been, where things are just going extremely quickly. And then we're going to hit new listings. So we had a total of 1,396 new listings go up for sale, which was a drop of 9.3% compared to December 2020, which that is a sizable decrease in the number of houses that are going up for sale. Total number of houses for sale is down 34.4% to a total of 1,274. And if you look at the number of closed sales versus the number of homes that went up for sale, there was roughly 600 more houses sold than went up for sale. So that is a recipe for rapidly constricting inventory. Last month it was 200. So we've definitely ramped up the that ratio. So which overall is going to mean that inventory is going to continue to restrict, which is definitely showing up currently for my buyers. We definitely are having a lot more competition, and the net effect is going to be home prices basically continuing to rise. Now you do want to dive into the the different price points, because a $1 million house is going to sell on a little bit different time frame than a $200,000 or $300,000 house, and simply because there are more buyers that are able to buy a $200,000 or $300,000 house versus that $1 million house. So it is important to dive into the various price points. So, but unlike Pinellas County, Hillsborough County last month actually had 5 houses sell under $100,000. Now that is a decrease of 54.5%, but there are some houses available under $100,000. $100,000 to $150,000 was down 62.2% for a total of 14 homes sold. $150,000 to $200,000 was down 46.1% for a total of 62, and $200,000 to $250,000 was down 69.6% for a total of 119. $250,000 to $300,000 was down 46.3% to 242. Now, both Pinellas and Hillsborough County, we have a bit of a break at 300,000. So what happens is on a lot of these stats, at 300,000, so above 300,000 there's more houses, and below 300,000 there's less. It's not necessarily that we are building a lot of houses at those particular price points, although Hillsborough is certainly building houses. But more important, what has happened is every house has basically slid up into a higher bracket over the last year to year and a half. So that's why some of these have some pretty significant swings to it. So $300,000 to $400,000 is up 58.8% for a total of 751. $400,000 to $600,000 is up 61.4% for a total of 515 sold. And $600,000 to $1 million is up 54.7% for a total of 198. Median time to contract, I am not going to dive in deep on this. Just know that it's basically 7 to 10 days for everything, and that's an average. So that means there is a lot of stuff that is going under contract extremely quick. So if you're looking to buy, you really need to go look at something within a day, maybe 2 at most. And then there is stuff hanging around for longer, but those are usually either overpriced or in poor quality. And this is single family homes. This is not condos. Condos are kind of their own thing and run, they dance to their own tune in condo world. So if you're curious about condominium stats, feel free to give me a call and I'll fill you in on that. Number of new listings by list price. Again, we have that break at $300,000. So $50,000 to $100,000. We actually had 60% fewer houses in Hillsborough County that went up for sale. Total of 4. And I'm not going to go over each and every one of these. I'm just going to kind of hit the high points. $200,000 to $250,000, there were 77.6% fewer houses for a total of 68. $250,000 to $300,000, we had 53.4% fewer houses go up for sale, total of 157. And then at $300,000 to $400,000, we have that flip. So we actually had 29.6% more houses go up for sale for a total of 491. So that's really where the bulk of houses are right now, in that 300 to 400 range. 400 to 600,000 is up 70.7% for a total of 391, which is madness. And 600 to $1 million is also up 71.7% for a total of 158. Total inventory, there's a couple price points that have held steady, oddly enough. And that's going to be 400 to 600,000 is actually held at 0.3% for a total of 338. And then 1 million or more has held for total inventory at 0.5% at 194. Everything else is basically down. to different degrees. 300 to 400 is only down 28.1%. 600 to a million is only down 10.8%, but everything under 300 is down like 60, 70%. So it is extremely competitive under that $300,000 price point. So if you're a buyer and here's how to take that knowledge. If you're a buyer and you're pre-qualified, and you're pre-qualified for, like $420,000, like you're going to be much better positioned and have a lot less competition putting in offers on houses above $400,000 compared to houses under $400,000. So a little bit of tidbit there for you. And our last page here is the doom and gloom page. So this is going to be short sales and foreclosures. There was a lot of hope in some quarters that once the foreclosure and short sale moratoriums were removed, that we would see a flood of foreclosures and short sales, thus tempering housing prices. Those moratoriums have been removed for a while, and they still have not shown up here in the numbers. So the total number of foreclosures is actually down 36.4% compared to last year, when the moratorium was in effect, for a total of 7. And short sales were also down 25% for a total of 6. And the thing with short sales, remember, short sale is when someone owes more on their house than it's actually worth. And when housing prices are going up so rapidly, it is extremely poor conditions for short sales to happen. So what's the verdict with all this stuff? Like, what's going on in the market? How long is this going to continue? The answer is this is going to continue for the foreseeable future. I do get asked this question a lot. We had a little glimmer of hope in September, October, and August of last year, of 2020, where we were technically putting up more houses for sale than we're selling. And I can tell you anecdotally, also for me and my clients, that it was a little bit easier time to get offers accepted. I definitely wasn't having to go up against 15 offers like I have been recently. That said, really the only thing that is, basically we're currently still in a demand shock. Just there's a ton of people wanting to move here, and just not enough homes going up for sale to really offset that. And it's also showing up in the rental market as well. This current trend is going to continue, and basically until it doesn't. Honestly, there's been some talks of like rent control and all that stuff. I think that's basically a stopgap. It's not actually going to solve the supply issue on housing, and it's also not going to stop the demand, issue as well. And it's just, I'm 40 years old now. I've been through a few real estate cycles all the way back. I even remember the ones in like the 90s. And just, real estate comes up, real estate goes down. That, there's always going to be high points and low points. Some are going to be bigger than others, some are going to be higher than others. The one thing I can tell you is that the current conditions are not going to last, but I can also tell you that they're probably going to last a lot longer than you would expect. The only thing that I could see currently, so there's nothing in the statistics currently that tells me that there's a slowdown or anything coming. Some people are worried about interest rates going up a little bit, and that's going to have a huge effect. And the simple truth is that in the last 10 years, interest rates have varied from like 2.5 up to 5, and we're currently at 3.5. So we're still very much on the low end of the interest scale. There is some inflation going on as well, but honestly, buying a house is a tremendous hedge against inflation because you lock in that mortgage for 30 years. And if inflation goes crazy, you're still only making that same mortgage payment. So your buying power as inflation goes up, the net effect on your income of that mortgage payment actually goes down. Like it becomes cheaper to pay for that house because you have more net dollars. Like your mortgage payment does not adjust with inflation if you get a fixed rate. So basically there's no, we had a slight glimmer at the end of the tunnel, but now it's definitely raining, and there's some snow that has basically come down and kind of snuffed that light out. I'm definitely still keeping an eye on these stats, but honestly, barring some major economic catastrophe, which is not out of the question, because if you've been to a grocery store, you know that we're having some major supply chain issues. But it would take something significant and major to really put the brakes on the current trend, because it's not showing up in the demand and the pricing data. So I know that's not good news for a lot of you, but I'm always going to tell you the truth, at least. And I'm definitely not going to sugarcoat it. And I also promise not to give you a sales pitch either. You know, I'm going to give you the straight information. And my clients will attest that that's how I deal on transactions as well. So, so to wrap it up, thank you so much for tuning in. If you would like help finding your own great place here in Tampa Bay, I would be thrilled to help you out. You can reach me via the comment sections down below. You can also reach me give me a call here at the office. My number is 727-300-2111. I cover the entire Tampa Bay area, not just St. Petersburg or Tampa. So if you're looking in Clearwater or Sarasota or Fishhawk or Brandon, please give me a call. I'll be happy to help you out. Other than that, if you have any opinions or anything on the current housing situation, feel free to leave me some comments down below. Other than that, thanks for tuning in, and I'll talk to you soon.